Hi to everyone in my civics course. Last night I tried to give you a review of a website that you can use to study for the civics end of course exam, but the program we were using was not cooperating. So I'm going to make this video for you. I will be emailing this sheet right here. It's called the Civics End of Course Exam Extra Credit Review. And this is for the Escambia County website, and I have sent you an email about that website already, but the directions are right here with the website. So I'm going to walk through how you would do this. And again, you can earn 35 extra credit points that you can use in my class only. You can't use extra credit points for any other class. You can use them for my class, for any assignment, any module exam, except for segment exams. So no segment exam extra credit. So step one, you will click on this link here or copy and paste the link, and it will open up this website, the Escambia County School District website, and it says civics here. So that's where you want to be. Step two, it says located on the left, you'll see a list of the civics benchmarks under the 4 reporting categories. So over here on the left, this is reporting category 1. So the benchmarks, or the things you have to learn for civics, are put into 4 categories. So category 1, these numbers and letters right here, these are benchmarks, okay? So each one of these is a benchmark. So there's 35 altogether. This is category 2 and the benchmarks that fall under it, category 3, category 4, all right? If you use this website and do what I'm asking you to do for this review, you will ace this test, no problem. Okay, so to start, you would choose one of the benchmark hyperlinks on the left side of the page that you want to review. So that means one of these, the ones that start with SS, that's a benchmark. And you would click on that. You can start in any category you'd like to. So for example, say you know that maybe government policies and political processes under category 3 is not your strong point, then you might want to start in this category. So maybe we start here and we're just going to go in order through each of the benchmarks. That'd be the best way to do it. So you click a benchmark. All right, let's look at our directions again. We clicked on the hyperlink, and it's saying that we need to look at the center of the page. You will see a section titled Overview. Read each of the benchmark clarifications under the overview. You must read all of the benchmark clarifications for each benchmark. That's really important. So this is what that's talking about. Okay, what you need to know. Here's the overview. Here's the benchmark clarifications. For this one, there's 2. Okay, students will compare current political parties' ideas about government, and students will evaluate the impact political parties have on a society, government, or the political system. So these are the things you need to know to do well on the test. So what you have to do is click Read More. That is going to give you like a summary of what's important that you need to know about that benchmark. It's going to give you information to read and the vocabulary that you need to understand. All right? So for that one, you would read that. Then you go back in your web browser and you would read the next one. So you would click Read More and you'd read the next clarification. This one's even shorter. Okay? So let's go back to our notes over here, our directions. So we did this. We clicked on Read More for each of the bulleted benchmark clarifications. You would read each of the readings and the vocabulary on the document. And there may be more than one clarification per benchmark. For example, the one we just reviewed had 2, so we read both of them. These readings and vocabulary are a great review for the EOC, so read carefully and read actively. So everything you've learned about reading, you want to put into this. So make sure you're thinking about what you're reading. You might ask yourself questions. You might say, oh, I didn't know that. You might want to highlight something. So make sure you're actively reading your material. So then to document this for what you're going to turn into me, number 6 says in the box below, document the benchmark you are reading and how many benchmark clarifications are listed by initialing by the number as you read them. Then you make sure you click the back button after you read each clarification. So what that means is over here in our website, benchmark clarifications, there are 1, 2. So as we read this one, we click here, we read it, we click back, okay? We read one of them. So you would, right here by this number 1, you would put your initials, okay? For me, it would be DB. For you, it would be your first initial of your first name and first initial of your last name. My name's Dana Bunton, which is why I would put DB, okay? Then we'd go back to our website and we'd read the second clarification. We'd read more. We'd read all this information. We'd click back. We'd come over here and we'd initial number 2. So the one thing I didn't tell you is for this benchmark number, this is where you would put, so you can keep track of what you're doing because it could get a little crazy. You'd put this number right here because we're reviewing this benchmark. SS.7.C.2.8 political parties. So that's what you would put right there. Of course, you wouldn't put it that big. You'd want to make it much smaller. Something like that. Okay? And then again here you'd have your initials because there were 2 that we reviewed. All right? Now, let's go back to our directions. And number 7, below the benchmark clarifications, you will see 3 example questions. You're going to read and answer each of the 3 sample test questions. There's a question for low complexity, one for moderate, and one for high. This just means low is the simplest kind of question, high is the most complex and difficult, and moderate would be the medium. All right, you're going to answer it in this box here. So let's go to our website and I'll show you what I mean. So if you scroll down, see it says example 1, low complexity. So you read your question. So what are the names of the 2 political parties in the United States today? You would read your choices and pick your answer. So I'm going to pick A, and this is the low complexity item. So I click on my sheet here, and just so you know, you can print this out and handwrite it, or you can type in it. You can submit it to me either way. But I would put my answer here under low complexity. That's the question I just read. And let me go down to the second one, which is moderate complexity. I would read that. I'm not actually going to read it, but I'm just going to say, okay, C. And then the third one is the high complexity. I would put my answer, say B. Those are just examples. I didn't read those 2 questions, so I'm not sure. All right, so number 7 we just completed. Now we're going to go to number 8. After you answer each question on your own, then you're going to click on the link below the question, all right, because that's going to give you the correct answer. And we're going to write the correct answer and the reasoning in the large box below. So let's go up to question 1. You would click here for the answer and explanation. All right. and it says the correct answer is A, Democratic and Republican Party. And the reason is the Democrats and the Republicans are currently the two major political parties in the U.S. So this is what you would put. Correct answer is A, and then you would write the reasoning. So the reasoning was the Democrats and Republicans are the two major. Okay, you would finish typing that or writing that in, okay? And by doing this, it's going to help you remember this information for the exam. Whenever you think about or write about information, it helps you put it into your long-term memory. Okay, so this is why. So then we go to, and we have to hit our back button, okay? Then we go to question 2. We click here for the answer and explanation. For this one, the correct answer is A. Would have been communist, and the reasoning is the Communist Party supports workers controlling all governmental power. So we would put A as the correct answer, and then you would type your reasoning, okay? And then you do the same thing for the high complexity question. Okay, you go back and you do the same thing. You click here for your explanation and answer and write it in. So now let's go on to the next step here. So number 9, now scroll down to the bottom of the site and click on the vocabulary game link. You're going to click on scatter at the top of the page. You're going to play the scatter game for vocabulary. You should know all of these words for the EOC. So all the words that you're going to play on this game you need to know. So once you finish the game, you're going to record the time it took you to finish the game in the box below. So here's what that means. Right down here where it says vocabulary, this is the vocabulary just for this benchmark that we're working on now, this political parties one. You would click on vocabulary game, and it said to click on scatter, okay? So you would click on scatter, you would start game, and then see it's recording my time, it's going fast. So you would take one of the words and drag it to a definition. And if it's correct, it will disappear. If it's incorrect, it will separate itself again. So you would do that for each of the words, and then when you're done, it'll stop your time. So you would, whatever time it took you, you would put in this box right here. So say it took you, 55.4 seconds. You would write that in there. Then I need you to have a parent sign this. So, but that's in the directions too. You want them to sign it to tell me that you actually did complete that benchmark. So if you're doing this, typing it, your parents can type their name here. If you print it out, just have them sign it. But it's important that your parent does do this. So number 1, that they know how hard you're studying for this test. And number 2, I know that you actually, did the work as well. So then you will do that for each of the benchmarks. So this is just benchmark, the first benchmark. There are 35 altogether. I want you to do 1 per day. 1 per day won't take you long at all, and that is a great strategy. It's a proven research strategy called, chunking your review that will help you remember this information for the test. Now, I will send you this form that has all the directions, but as you see, these boxes are a little small. So I'm also going to send you this one where the boxes are bigger, okay, 2 per page. So you can do that, and then you can copy and paste that onto another page like that. Actually, that didn't come out too good. Let me go back. Let's see if I can get that to copy and paste. I highlighted the whole thing. I'm copying it, and I'm going to paste it in. No, you don't want to do that. So I'll get it ready for you guys before I send it. So you'll have more space to write, is what I'm saying. Now, it says this paper is due on the day of your EOC. We take our EOCs on different days, so don't worry about that. Just get it to me, before you take your EOC, like the day before. Send it to me so I can give you your extra credit points, and you will be good to go, and you will ace that test.